whoever's helped me get through with the nerves. I'm breathing. My gestures will be here. I'm a big hand talker, so good luck with that. So really what we're here to talk about is how to boss up your LinkedIn profile. Now I just want to get a sense, who has a LinkedIn profile? Most people in the room. This is a good thing, right? Now I want to tell you a bit of a story. I had my LinkedIn profile, I had some weird picture from 2006, didn't really update it, and then I was speaking to my mentor at the time who was like, you know, she's doing her MBA and, you know, LinkedIn presented and this is such a crazy thing. I was like, oh babe, well, LinkedIn, whatever. She was like, you need to sort it out. I was like, no, it'll be fine, I'm sure it's fine. Anyway, I decided, okay, let me just clean it up. Let me change a profile picture, you know. Soon after I get notifications that, oh, okay, you appeared in 21 searches. I was like, when? And then after 2 weeks later, I realized, ooh, okay. 2 weeks later, I get a message from my now boss, Holly, saying that there's an opportunity at Cosmo. So literally by just taking the action of fixing up my LinkedIn, gave me this opportunity to even speak to you. So let's listen up. All right, so LinkedIn gave us kind of the guidance on this. So these are LinkedIn approved tips. So please take down the notes that you need to take photos. It's so important. Now, the first thing you need to do is not cut and paste your CV. A lot like if you were flirting with someone you were interested in, you can't give it all up in the first minute. You need to make sure that there's an incentive for me to call you and be like, I want to find a little bit more about you. So make sure these things are succinct. Make sure that your experience is clear and your abilities are clear. So make sure that you're doing it in a way that you're going to network now. As the bubbles start to come in, you're going to be a little bit more comfortable. What are you going to say about yourself? You know, it was mentioned earlier that keep it succinct. Keep it less than 3 minutes. What are you and what are you about? So here we can take out that the experiences are important and your abilities need to show. Now, I love this from them. They say that borrow from the best marketers. Now it's very easy to say, I was responsible for social media. I was responsible for that and already I went to sleep. But using the words like, you know, adjectives like I manage, these all are kind of doing words and you want people to understand that you're a vibrant person who's contributing to your team. So a lot of it is about how it is that you frame what it is that you are responsible for. So please, things like I manage the project team can change. I mean, project manager is a good one, but if you just say I was responsible for it, you need diverse language even in the way that you write. So what we're saying now, make sure you don't cut and paste, make those experiences come out, and also use the right language around it. All right, so you need to write a personal tagline. Now I'm sure you know that your profiles, once you'll have like Noxolo Mafu, and then you might have your job description, or you need a tagline. What are you about? I think a lot of what we heard in the first half of this morning is that authenticity matters. People need to know what are you bringing to the table. So I want you to really, really take time to think about what is it about you? What is it that's different? What's going to make me excited to have you on my team? So definitely here, this could also take time because you must remember, in the algorithm, that's the first thing we're going to see about you. So if it's your email address, what does that say about you? What's that different from? And if the place you're working for makes sense, that I am deputy editor at Cosmo, that can speak for itself, but it has no sense of who I am as a person. So really take the time to craft and distill your job, whether it is your company, and you want us to know in a minute what you're about, whether it's yourself. It's very important that you make sure you take time with that personal tagline. And like I said, it's the first thing that comes up in that algorithm. So your Google search is super important in this, and we'll get to it later. So point out your skills and get them endorsed. Now this is also from hearing also our previous speakers that I think sometimes women really struggle to say, I can do this and I'm really good at it. And I think you need to get into the habit of writing down your skills so that you can put them out there. So I mean, I'm good at drinking wine, but no one wants to know that at LinkedIn, right? So really distill your skills down to things that matter, things that make you notable in that space. So, you know, social media management, what does that look like? Do your friends know you? Do your colleagues from an old place know you for that? Share those skills so that you can get endorsed. And like I said, we're trying to speak to the algorithm. That will definitely make sure that you pitch up first. And when you get that email about the 21 searches, it's because of that. It's because you've placed yourself as an editor, as a writer, or a beauty artist, whatever it is that you do, hold it. And I mean, if your skill set is to be a public speaker, that's great, but there comes managing your time and all of that. So don't forget about those really quieter skills that aren't part of your degree or the past job that you're at. So we've got these 2 points here. And then, this I think is the part of LinkedIn, which we find it, I find it a little bit corny and like really embarrassing, but getting involved in the community of LinkedIn. Like in Facebook and Instagram where you'll post your holiday, you really need to place yourself as part of your network, part of industry people. So ask questions and answer questions. And that looks like if someone in your fraternity says, what do I need to know about, I don't know, X situation? If you've got the expertise, show up. That is the moment where you need to show up. It's exceptionally important that even when you need answers and you need resources from this community that you're creating around you, people are willing to help. Why? Because you got involved. If you don't know something, also mention that, you know, I would love to do this, but I know someone. Lead people to other resources so that you're part of notable people, credible people in your industry, and I promise you that will make you fly on this platform. Right, so if we get down to the do's and don'ts, have a high quality profile picture. Now I told you I started with my 2006 kind of picture, which is exceptionally embarrassing, which is why that is so important. Use that resource that we've given you to get a good picture. That also, you know, you can have a smile, it doesn't have to be really serious and not yourself, but high quality pictures matter. Write a descriptive headline. We've spoken to this, which really just captures who you are. And I mean, people want to know what you're about. Show passion in your summary. If ever you're talking about yourself, keep it short, keep it succinct, because of course we don't want to read through pages and pages of who you are. But the language around it really needs to show why it is that you're obsessed, like Lauren said, about your job, and why you're obsessed about the service that you want to offer. Include previous work experience, naturally, and link to a specific company. I think this is something I was particularly shy about. I previously worked at Media 24 and I didn't really want to link to my old company. And I don't understand why. You work there and that only really makes you far more credible as a person. If I stumble upon your LinkedIn profile, I can account and be like, okay, let me speak to the HR managers there. Link to your experience. Even if it's got nothing to do with the business that you're interested in developing, it just shows there's experience, and that's what we're looking for. Personalize your in-mails. Now, the question might be, what is in-mails? I don't know how many of us are actually paying for the premium subscription. I'm definitely not. But so in-mails, if you do, and I would imagine for your business you'd want to kind of make that investment, and I understand that completely. To personalize your in-mails would mean to make sure that you don't get those generic messages. Personalize yourself. People can tell when it's like that, great, thank you, got it. It needs to be something that sounds like you. Follow companies you're interested in, again, creating a very credible network around you, and post and share relevant content. Now, don't do the following. Don't copy and paste from your resume, we've spoken about this, or send spam messages to your connections. In the same way in the office, people will hate you for sending those spam messages. You don't want to do that in the LinkedIn community, so make sure you keep it professional and only really send messages to the people who need to know. Don't overpost or share content that's not relevant. Like we said, we're trying to build a digital presence. You want this to be a flagship kind of introduction on who you are in the professional world. So please curate it and be very smart about how you do it. Don't join groups that are irrelevant to you, which already speaks to what we spoke about earlier. And I think typos. Have a friend check your profile. It can be very easy for us to rely on the dictionary on our phones or whatever. Sometimes that even lets you down, and then you're embarrassed, you know, when someone mentions that. And also just kind of make sure you don't accept every request that comes, because it can kind of become a really creepy place where people are like, yo babe, so, and that's not what it's about, you know. So make sure that you really treat this LinkedIn profile as an extension of who you are in the digital space. You might not always have the time to sit on a one-on-one interview with someone, so really the magic happens in that digital presence. So make use of all the resources that are there, and if you want a copy of this, I'm sure we can make a plan. But thank you so much, guys. Okay.